Donald Adelson, obviously the Vietnam flight, another argument that we heard today. And certainly, but what jumps out at me, Michael, is the two contrasting versions of events. And when you're in a courtroom, attorneys, when you're standing in front of that jury, especially in opening statements, you want to be a source of credibility. And that's where to really put the stake in the ground with the emotions. And that's where I think the defense had more conviction and a little more emotion behind it. But somebody is going to be proven to be credible because of the stark contrasts of the two versions. And who's it going to be? And this is what the trial's for. Those witnesses are going to have to get on the stand that are the state's witnesses that also have charges. They're going to have some motive to lie as well. There's going to be some cross on that. And the jury's going to have to decide which of the two attorneys that just gave that opening statement was able to prove it with the trial. And that's what we're going to be looking for in the days to come.
Yeah, that's what these trials are all about. As a former prosecutor, you heard that there were two witnesses who initially told one story and then changed their story. You're going to have to put them on the stand as a prosecutor. As a former prosecutor, how do you deal with that to suggest that one or the other, or the story that best helps your case, is the right one, is the true one?
The truth. That every single prep, every single conversation with the detective right next to me is going to be, look, you're getting on that stand to tell the truth. And if you have prior inconsistent statements, you have to get out in front of them. You have to honor them. You have to hit them squarely. And oftentimes that's what prosecutors do because they know what's coming in the cross. You have to get out in front of the weaknesses so that there's no surprises. And I think that's what's going to be the playbook of the prosecutor here, because it sounds like they're calling some people that have their own exposure.
I was hoping for more answers with the forensics, the DNA, for instance, also perhaps the angle of the way the knife went in. Didn't hear anything about that. And there are both fingerprints on the handle, so not a lot of help for the state there.
Yeah, even the prosecutor herself said, as she was explaining that the victim's blood was on the knife and that the handle had the defendant's DNA or fingerprints, she said in that same sentence, well, they lived together. So that could be explainable. So she understands that that's not really evidential. But to your point, the angle. I want to hear from the forensic pathologist on that angle. Is it indicative of self-infliction or the murder?
Exactly. All right, David Bruno, thank you so much, as always, for being with us.